Greetings, I'm Caffeine Rage, and welcome back to the Sunday Sampler. This week we're taking a look at This Is the Police, a management with a bit of visual novel thrown in. This is a game produced by Weappy Studios. This is actually our first title. And as you can see, I got my grubby little hands on a review copy of the game. So before we jump in, let's go ahead and take a quick look at options. Not a lot here, mostly because it is a 2D game, so not a lot to really look at, but it is a very striking art style nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a game that takes place over 180 days. You play as Jack Boyd, a police chief that's being basically ousted by the current mayor, and you're trying to raise $500,000 because you need a little bit of a nest egg, and you're getting caught into a dark web of deceit between at least a couple gangs. I'm still very early in the story. I've been playing for a couple hours, and I'm only on, as you saw, day 14. So this is a very, very long form game, but so far I've been enjoying the hell out of it. So let's go to work. And you can see the art style here, sort of a low poly, low detail, but it works for this game. Okay, so like I said, this is a visual novel slash, I want to call it visual novel, at least just because of the very long sequences of just dialogue and how they choose the choices. But it also has a management style, so you have two shifts of officers to deal with. And each officer, well, we have officers and detectives here. The officers are in blue, and their rank is indicated by this symbol. Their professionalism is indicated by the number. Anything above 150 is considered better than average. So this lady here, at least I'm assuming that's a lady, is considered an average officer, while Officer Alston here below average. And same goes for detectives. 150 is considered the average, and above that is a lot better. So the Blancto here is about your average detective. This detective is actually from the A shift. He called in a little bit drunk, if I recall correctly. So I told him to come in tomorrow, which is on the B shift. So that's why he's showing A. And also, as you work your officers, your energy goes down, and they need time off, which is why you switch between A and B shifts. So this guy's going to be dragging ass a little bit in a couple of days, but he'll deal with it. So let's go ahead and get started with our day, and we'll see how the actual gameplay plays out. Now, first we choose our song. We'll go with a little bit of... No, not that one. A little bit of Chopin, I think. And I can order more, but this works for now. And this is the management style side of things, where the mafia is giving me some money for some selling of weapons off screen. Yeah, I'll give a little bit with my staff, see if that helps relations a little bit. And we have affairs, which so far I've only unlocked 3 of the 6, and I'm on day 14 of 180. The police station allows me to manage my cops. I can see both shifts here, and then they're about equal. A shift has about one more cop than, well, if I moved one cop from A shift to B shift, I would even them out. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's move someone that's a little bit below average. And I could also fire cops, but unfortunately, they have to have a reason to fire them. So it didn't come to work, I could fire them then. Came to work drunk. If they're just too old, which is the reason why we're being thrown out of the department. Or if they failed 3 assignments in a row. Or I could just fire them illegally, which could cause trouble later on, but I'm not going to do that. The labor market, which allows me to hire more cops and detectives. Wow, that is a very, very old detective. A little Miss Marble action going on there. And I can see my backlog of what's going on in the last few days. Like, this introduces the gang system, which I'll get to in a bit. City Hall, which I could request a favor from City Hall every 7 days, and I have 1 day till my next request. I could request to upgrade my SWAT team. I could get a raise, which I actually had a huge pay cut because of how I handled a demonstration. I think on like day 7, so I'm actually hurting there. I could ask for a job slot on a detective or officer. So, and then the Sands. This is the mafia side of things, and I've been kind of forced into this. I was able to have a choice to voluntarily jump into this, but I didn't take that. I wanted to try to play a bit more of a clean cop, and a friend of mine paid the price. So this is another way to kind of get rid of bad cops or cops that are on my political side, which unfortunately I don't have the ability to see just yet. Maybe that's going to be one of the last 3 things. Oh, I already have something popping up, but we also have investigations. This is where the detectives go to work. So we'll take a look at this. A hit and run that went off, I think, the day before this recording. So I'm able to see a hit and run case. An unknown vehicle struck librarian Kimmy Koneski at pedestrian crossing and drove off. The victim was found dead on the scene. And I have some clues from some witness testimony. Let's see. Thought he was being followed. He said they saw the guy everywhere. Said it looked like someone had a problem with him at the library. Mr. Hopkins, I saw 2 people in the car. They went right by me. The man in the passenger seat had a beard. So that's definitely these guys. So let's go ahead and see if we could solve. We don't have enough frames. As the investigation continues on, you get more frames to try to piece together what happened. So we don't have enough just yet for this. That's the reason why we want good detectives on this. Let's see, a few days ago, Dad had a fight at work with a couple of young people who were causing him ruckus at the library. This is the daughter, I'm assuming. Yeah, victim's daughter. The whole thing almost came to blows. They threatened them before they left. Not long before the crash, I kicked a couple drunks out of the bar. They were having a fight with some of my regulars, and this dark color car comes out, comes tearing around the corner, hopped the curve, and kept going. Knocked the man over, didn't even slow down. So there's a witness testimony. Oh. And then we have our gangs, which we just have 1 gang member so far. We could start to investigate him. And we'll throw him on. This is tied to another investigation that we had earlier, but also as we... Oh, actually, let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is our mafia connection. People are... scanning ahead of Mr. Sand's movements, and we spotted a punk carrying a gun. We shoot a few more of the bastards lurking around. Let's get together and turn the tables on this slime ball crew. So let's go ahead and send in a couple good officers. And this is sort of Facebook style where it takes time to build up, and the further away from the actual police station, the longer it takes. Like, here we go. This is a regular call. Attendant at an arcade filed in a complaint about 2 teenagers who broke at the steering wheel on the turbo nitro machine and are currently fleeing the scene. So we'll send in someone that's below average, because as they bust guys, for the lack of a better term, their rating will go up. But if they fail, their rating will go down. So it's actually kind of helpful to send in someone with a higher rank and a higher proficiency to try to bring up some people. So we'll go ahead and send those off. And we'll take a look at investigation some more. So we have our investigation going here, but we could also arrest this guy. Well, we can't anymore, but we had an option to for $2,000. But if we are able to bring in Jin Yang, it gives us $20,000, which goes towards our $500 million, basically nest egg goal. So that's a way to do things kind of cleanly, to just clean up the streets, knock gangs over, and get bonuses. And we have our archives, which we have no archive cases. And finally, we have our deputy, which has just been recently added to me. So I don't know exactly how useful some of these are. Send some of my staff to training. I have a barbecue, which is $3,500. That's an expensive barbecue. That's some good meat. Iron snitch, pay an employee to gather important information for you. Buy names for an investigation against me, and buy silence. I'm being testified against, but I'm not being testified against yet. And I stress the word yet, because things could get very dirty in this game. This is a very, very dark story. Oh, we've been started our investigation here. Receiving stolen property. Nothing to really report there yet, though. So it's just the waiting game. We have... Oh. The wife of the mayor's press secretary loves vertical ceiling. Today her birthday, so please some men with some good voices. Yeah, we'll try to keep City Hall off our backs, and we'll send a couple of people over. Because we are pretty good on staff right now. Sometimes you just get a lot of people call in, which limits your staff options. But this time I'm doing okay. Oh, there's our investigation. We caught the guy. Officers were unharmed. And Austin gained 10, and Little gained 10 on their professionalism is what they actually call the stat. So it brings Austin closer to average. And this is really the game overall. It's just, ooh, this is going to be bad. You could usually give a good sense of how things are going to go just by the number of slots you have available to send officers. Eyewitness reports that a man is selling weapons on the street, right out of the trunk of his car. Someone is getting shot every night around here. You need to do something. Well, I'm going to close out of that for just a moment. I'm going to let Little and Austin come back, because I have enough time. Unfortunately, I tied up these two, which now I'm kind of regretting. Okay. We'll sit in 3 and keep 2 in reserve. They can call in reinforcements if need be, though, so that will be okay if they need them. But I've seen some people really decrying this game just for its subject matter and knocking some points off their reviews. And I will say that, yeah, they're requesting reinforcements. So I'll sit in my last couple. Unfortunately, ooh, that's not good. And that popped up just at the same time. So the firefight will likely be not responded to, just because sending heavy officers to a legal arms dealer. Uh-oh, and Mr. Sands is asking for help as well. Okay, we caught the offender. No officers, its civilians were harmed. And we got some non-automatic weapons, which we'll bring to the police station this time. Okay, Mr. Boyd, I feel bad about coming to you again, but you're really the only one that can help me. Those records that Matt sued me for, well, I got them back, of course. And I guess this could be nothing, but her big-nosed brother had his sights on them. The idiot even hired a private detective who's been at my store 3 days straight, and now has the audacity to come to my house and accuse me of being involved in the record's disappearance. I don't know if he has any evidence, but the risk is just too high. Can you scare them both? Make sure that they both stop sticking their nose into other people's business. My store is open to you anytime. Well, unfortunately, I don't have any officers available right now. The firefight's going to go off. Oh. Yeah, offender escaped. I need to report to Mr. Sands, though, first. That's going to be the big thing. And I need to see what this is. suspicious individual, former psychiatric patient, Libra Clark, called the police because a maniac was harassing people at the mall. According to Libra, there's a killer on the loose. We'll stop at nothing. Well, unfortunately, we need this in. Someone to Mr. Sands. Well, we don't have to, but it definitely will help things overall. One of our minor deliveries got intercepted by some fucking punks. Boxes of towels, napkins, and various cooking utensils. They were supposed to be going to the ranch. Now they're scattered across the highway like a circus sideshow. They're having a good laugh and making us look like clowns too. We're not breaking up though about towels, but there still needs to be someone to teach less of these punks. Well, we'll send Austin. We'll send 3 people here, and we'll send one good officer here just to see what's going on, because that could be a false alarm. And that we should get one officer back before that triggers, I think. If need be, I could send the SWAT team. Okay. Got some help from Mr. Boyd, which gives me $4,000. Oh, got some more for our investigation. Go ahead and close out that for now. And I was right, that was a false alarm. The man's suspicions were aroused by a shopping center employee wearing a costume. He was just as the hero from the movie, dressed in blood. He was pretending to menace visitors as part of the fun. But he wasn't going to kill anyone. So I was right on that one. And I got Kruczki and Alston coming back. Unfortunately, I've tied up the rest of my officers for the day. But it's pretty much the end of the day now. Yeah, there it is. So there we go. And this is our sort of scoreboard between the 2 major gangs in the town. The Sands, which is the sign I chose, and the Vargas. Sands are very old school mafia, while Vargas are kind of a wild card, which is, you know, I just picked the Sands because they contacted me first, really. And that wraps up the day. We lost no one, and our detectives are doing their jobs. And we'll get him back on the next shift. And we're at our checkpoint. Day 15, July 29th, Monday. I'm hoping to get a good story bit so you can see the cutscenes on this. Let's see. Mayor proves his commitment to nepotism. Mayor Rogers, if my nephew wants to lead the police, I support him. Well, there's our replacement there. It says police chief, not elected position, says Mayor Rogers. Yeah, great. So we likely know our replacement. Now the question is, can we do anything about that? Oh. Okay, this is one of our better detectives. My father got drunk and beat my mother again. This time it looks pretty bad. I'd like it to go to them. I have the day off. Yeah, but come in tomorrow. And this is my promotions. I could dish out promotions to really whoever I feel like to raise their professionalism and make it so that a well-professed officer will be able to essentially take the lead in a situation. So I'm going to hold on to that for now, and we'll start the day. And once again, we'll pick our music, a little bit more Chopin, because hopefully that won't trigger the copyright strikes. Actually, let's take a look at our catalog. Let's see, we could get some Beethoven. Actually, that sounds good. It's going to cost us a little bit of money, but we'll get some Beethoven going, which you just saw that is added to the record somewhere here. No. I know it was added. Oh, there it is. Ludwig. There we go. Add him. Oh, yeah. Oh. And we have a couple things going on. Considering the recent events, you're obliged to grant some concessions to the Venomist. Yeah, boy, that's going to piss some people off in real life. But honestly, if you can't tell the difference between real life and a video game, you shouldn't be playing fucking video games to begin with. You're to make sure that at least half your staff on the police station are women. You have 3 days. Looking at my current stat on Shift A, and yeah, that's not going to happen. Oh, so much for City Hall. And they're going to be pissed at me for not taking care of the gang quickly enough, but really there's nothing I could do because didn't do it. You didn't get it quickly enough. We'll see if we could. Oh, there we go. So we have this going off, which will send a couple good officers to hopefully nab this guy. I don't want to send my SWAT team. I don't think I'll be needed. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to do that today. Suicide threat. A taxi driver heard someone screaming and noticed a few people gathering on the bridge as he was driving past towards the port. He stopped to see if anyone would help him, but as he approached, he saw that a man was threatening to blow himself and 2 children into the icy waters below. Oh, sorry, throw themselves. Jason left us. I lost my job and the house, and there's no way that we'll survive. It's better if we'll just end everything now. The taxi driver, it looks like suicide. Well, we'll send a few people. Unfortunately, one of my lower ranking guys, or well, my lower professional guys, is higher ranking, so he'll likely take the lead and lower my chances there, but oh well. Let's see. An elderly man speaking raspy whisper just reported a break-in. There's someone in my house, and they're pounding on the door and marching all around downstairs. Hurry. Well, send a couple officers there. Okay. Oh, yeah, I failed on that. Okay. Suicide threat, bridge. This is where it sort of falls more into the visual novel side of things because we have a choice here. 2 tearful boys, clearly in the state of shock, are standing dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. Beside them, their drunk and distraught father are slowly pushing the children towards the precipice. Don't worry there. Everything is going to be fine. Don't be upset, friend. Tell me about your wife. Don't be upset, friend. Tell me about your husband. Ooh. Okay, so that's a little bit of an attention check because they mentioned a male name, so. Okay, a strong gust of wind almost blows one of the children off the bridge, but recovered at the last moment and stumbled to the ground with a scuffed knee. Man slurs his words, saying that there's no point delaying the inevitable. Pointing a gun at the man and order him to stay off the edge. Think about what you're doing. There's people who care about you. Their children have their whole lives in front of them. You can't make this decision for them. So let's go for this. Let's see if this... Oh, we caught him. And no one got killed. Ooh, that was a little touch and go. See, disorderly conduct. Secretary Abigail Jones told the police that her boss, Martin Kabrick, returned from a meeting in a quiet state. He entered and took a bag of white powder from his safe and shut the door. Now he's yelling incessantly and making a scene, demanding that his secretary deliver him the head of a unicorn, or he'll cut the throat, or he'll cut his throat with a letter opener, and then go after the rest of her family. Let's close that. We have 20 seconds on that, so we'll be able to get at least one officer or two officers back. So we're not sending one guy in alone. Oh, false alarm there. Just dogs in the house. Okay. Send in the lower level guy as well. Sands needs help. A member of the family was out at the restaurant having dinner with his secret lover. But because the affair was secret, he was light on protection, and one of the Lagros agents was able to slip a grenade to the room. This is a job handled by police, unfortunately, of course. And, okay, we have a staff now, so we'll send a couple people over. Receiving stolen oh, damn. That's not good. I should have waited for the investigator. But oh, I had to make my move. So that means I lost on that. Yeah, I have no active gang investigations going on now. Yeah, that's what I get for pushing it, I guess. Okay, and was able to at least get that done. Found some cocaine. Let's have the mafia sell it. Yeah, I'm running a risk there, to be perfectly honest, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. And I think this is a game that's really going to have you go back and forth to your various checkpoints, because you saw that you're able to go back 1 week at a time, so it's going to be one of those games that you're going to have sort of a Groundhog's Day effect, where you're just going back and back and trying to perfect things. But right now I'm just trying to almost Iron Man it, where I'm not really just changing my decisions based on what happens. Let's see. A man wearing a suit walks into the lobby of a bank, locked the doors, and proceeded to kill several customers. He never said a word. He's just started firing. Reported one eyewitness that dozens of people remain inside the building, and there's a criminal's demands are yet unknown. Where there's the SWAT team, and we're gonna send 3 officers. Let's see if we need any more, as we're starting to run towards the end of the day. But yeah, this is going to be a very, very long form game, and one that I think requires several playthroughs to really get the good ending. Oh. Okay. We could retreat, or we could refuse, or we could send a couple more, and I have my complete roster now, so I'm going to send 2 more, and that's the max I'll be allowed anyway. I have no idea just how many endings there are. I mean, I only got the review copy a couple days ago, and to be perfectly honest, if I played this 24/7, I'd just be getting to the ending now. Let's see, a sweet girl named Anita is one of the key assets of a large accounting firm. She just got home from work and found her house was on fire, and the assholes that started it still standing around admiring their handiwork. It would be pretty if someone cracked their skulls open and tossed them into the flames. So we'll send a couple officers there. Uh-oh. Don't like the look of that. Oh, I saw an officer drop off, so... Oh, no, it was the SWAT. That's right, because you can only use the SWAT once a day. But I think that was a good reason, too. Seeing just what's going on now. Oh, there's our hit and run report. We got 3 new frames. We'll open the investigation and see what's going on there. These two are not important. Oh, there we go. Sometimes you have to toy with it a little bit just to get the proper sequence of events, but it works out. Oh. Actually, let's save that until tomorrow. Because our trying to rush the investigation last time didn't pay off, so boy told the investigating detective is on duty. Well, in the day. Oh, the Vargas are catching up. That's not good. In the day and get our checkpoint. We'll do one more day and then wrap things up, I think. Unfortunately, we didn't get a cutscene, so we may have to go to one of the previous checkpoints if I really wanted to do a cutscene. Oh. No. They're better now, but I want to spend my day with my cat. No. Okay, let's go ahead and start the day. A little bit more Beethoven, I think. Just because I don't know if any of these will trigger copyright claims. Okay, and we have our investigations. And our investigating detective is on duty now, so we could send there. Oh, and we'll wait for the other one to go off, then we'll send the detective to the other one. And the Sands needs help already. The Sands family main attorney is under guard around the clock, and that goes double for his children. But before we could pick them up from school this morning, some Varga punks kidnapped them. We don't know how Varga found them. They live under false names. Anyway, we'll need to act quickly. They can't have gotten far. Well, we'll send a couple people there. Kevin's Throat Bar. That's a hell of a name for a place, isn't it? So what do I think about this game? Well, two senior students begin to fight in the middle of chemistry class. Their teacher, Dolores Ponder, first tried to calm them down, but when she attempted to separate them, she was poked in the eye. Well, send just one officer to see how things go. Oh, wrong place, so we know this is the place. We gotta wait for that to get back, though. Oh. A theft. So, another investigation kicking off. We'll go ahead and throw 2 detectives on that. Try to get that cleared up fairly quickly. Okay, drug sales. So the nurse tried to sell her drugs right in the hospital. I went to the doctor after I broke my arm. After I broke my arm, the nurse heard me complaining about the pain and waited until the doctor left. She started telling me about the pills she could get me. Better than Vicodin, according to her. Well, that's something worth investigating. Purdy did pretty well, I have to say. Okay, our other detective is back. Fortunately, our good staff is out, but our investigation starting here, and wow, that's a lot of scenes. Just quickly flip through here. Just in case anybody wanted to see that. So, I'm really enjoying this so far, and I'm probably going to be playing after I'm done recording this, to be perfectly honest. It's very long form, so anyone that wants to just jump into the action is going to be rather disappointed. Oh, there we go. Fender caught. And I was able to arrest all suspects. And that's that case closed. Some more cocaine. I think I'm going to send that to the police station just because I don't want to send too much stuff to the mafia and draw attention to myself. Yep, Mr. Sands. Some goons grabbed the half-sister of one of my family members right off the street. Our driver called from the nearby payphone, but he's a wimp and couldn't actually do anything. From the description we got, it sounds like Varga's man. If you get there first and hold them for us, don't hurt them too much. Just make sure that you don't let them escape. We have something special planned for them. Oh, there we go. And I'm sure that as this progresses, my political affiliations with my officers are going to be very, very important. But unfortunately, I'm still very early in the game, so it's really hard to tell just how that's going to play out later in the game. So this is more of a teaser than really anything else. But, you know, that's all right. For a long-form game like this, it's really hard to do anything else, especially whenever I only have a couple days. Was approached by a man wearing a hood and took her bag. Well, we'll send a couple of good cops. And besides, it's right here, so it's not going to take that long. An older prisoner tried to eat the food served by the prison cafeteria. Made his way to the kitchen carrying a shit. Oh, sorry, tired of intent on having a word with the chef. The guard called the police as he was reluctant into the kitchen for fear of further provoking the prisoner. Well, we have plenty of staff on hand. Robbery. We're getting some really good not detectives, but officers here. Makes me worry because I already had a couple losses on officers that were really good. Yeah, just waiting for the kitchen floor is decorated with broken glass and overturned pan filled with a muddy slush. The elderly prisoner is sitting on the stool, dipping his hand into the pot of slush and shoveling it into the cook's face, saying, "You eat this shit." Yeah, just try to pacify him. It looks like that's going to be probably the end of the day. Maybe one more incident. Fortunately, it didn't really show any story, but maybe that's sort of the good thing because the story is very dark. Oh, we got some frames there, so let's start to try to piece together what happened. Looks like that's a brick, or I have an option of not enough to really piece together what happened, but getting there. But maybe it's a good thing that I didn't run into any story content because it is very dark. There's it's a very mature story, at least so far. And unfortunately, it also means that you didn't get to hear any of the voice acting in the game, but oh well. Yeah, the Sands are still nicely ahead. And we'll just go ahead and end the day since we didn't lose anyone. So, what do I think of the game? I'm really enjoying it. It's a very slow burner. I mean, I've went through, 3 days in about 40 minutes. So, it's not something that you're going to be breezing through in, like just a couple hours. I do suspect that there's going to be several endings. I don't have an actual ending count, so I can't say for certain. But just the way things are playing out, just being able to pick between the couple different gangs, that it indicates to me that there's going to be multiple endings to the story. And also, just a hint from the Steam store page that the choices matter greatly in your how the story unfolds for Jake Lloyd, the police chief in question. So it's going to be interesting just to see how things wrap up. But that's going to be another 130 days. Unfortunately, like I said, you didn't get to hear any of the voice acting, so go ahead and just go to work, see if it triggers a cutscene, just to be safe. Oh. And once again, we have a choice here. I've gotten worse. They happen more often, and they all end in tears. The doctor says he needs a special new drug that could only be get out down. I'm the only one in the family who drives. Alright, fine, but come in tomorrow. Yeah, and looks like we're not getting another story element. So we'll just go ahead and wrap things up here, I think. Very slow burning. The story is sprinkled between a lot of... I don't want to call it filler just because it is a abandonment style game on top of being a story-driven game. So it's not really filler, but it is a long time between story elements. So that may put some people off if they want to have the story now. I will say that the game would greatly benefit from a sandbox mode, which it doesn't have on launch, but according to the devs, will be coming in a post-launch patch. So that is something to look forward to, just because I am enjoying the management style of this. Voice acting, actually, let's head back. Oh. Unfortunately, that didn't do what I was intending to. We'll head back to the main menu. And what I'll do is... unfortunately, that's going to wipe my save. And you saw how long it takes to get to various places, so yeah. But I'm not going to wipe my save just to get some voice acting in this. But it is John St. John, so I think you know what to expect. I mean, he is a veteran voice actor in quite a few games, including Duke Nukem, but he's done far more than that. So the voice acting is superb, and really everything I've heard of the cutscene so far. I would have loved the option to go back and to replay some of the cutscenes, but unfortunately I don't have that option. Striking art style, I'm really having trouble figuring out a negative on this game because, yeah, I'm really been enjoying it. It's definitely not for everyone because just the long form style and the dark tones of the story. I mean, it is a police chief essentially trying to milk as much money as he can before being forced out of office in 6 months and being caught in a gang war between two very powerful gangs and having a handful of lower level gangs dealing with as well. So there's a lot to deal with. Launch price is going to be $14.99, which is a hell of a deal for this, actually. And it's going to be 10% off for a week after it launches on August 2nd. Yes, I am actually doing a video before a game launches, which is a little surprising, huh? But that's because the publisher forgot to press the magic button. Trying to think of anything else that really needs to be said, but I think I'm coming out blank, so I think it's time to wrap things up. As always, feedback is appreciated, especially with the Sunday Sampler, just because of how schizophrenic the content can be. And as always, if you wish to watch the next Sunday Sampler, subscribe because that does help, or my Let's Play content, which will be restarting this week. I have 3 series that will be running. And of course, the podcast, Video Game Logic, which comes out right at noon on Fridays. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll take a sample of something next week. And I'm sorry I didn't hit any story content, but maybe it's a good thing that I kept the story in the dark because it is a good one. I do highly recommend it if you like your dark police stories. But until next time, I'll see you, and thank you for watching.